Well, good morning, everybody. Just wanted to show y'all what I'm doing today. These are my last few yards. They're very small. These are my ag exemption yards. Here in Texas, we actually get to use tax breaks by having bees on property. So I'm actually getting paid by people to have a certain amount of colonies on their property, depending on how big their property is. There's restrictions on that, but you know, normally I would have a lot more than 4 colonies out here, but I literally have 3 properties right next to each other. So 10 acres here, the fence line, another property with 4, another property. So I can knock all these 3 small yards out within minutes since they're right next to each other, and I get paid from all 3 of them separately. So that's another source of income for me. But what I'm doing is, you see, we've got, and I have headphones in, so that could help. But you see we have supers above excluders. I've already pulled some honey from these yards, but then we had a second mesquite flow, so I had some supers that weren't fully ready yet, and I added an empty frame of empty box of drawn out comb. So hopefully they both have the top 2 boxes in the 1 box. But I'm gonna let y'all tag along. These ones are a little feisty sometimes. Well, actually this one and that one are a lot better genetics, but you can see it's tilted a little bit over. I don't know if that's the weight or what, but let's get them pulled and go to the next yard. And really quick, since we are in West Texas, I know some other states have cactus, but not everybody. But you can see the fruits, the prickly pear, are perfect right now. So actually my daughter and we're gonna go harvest some today. Make some lemonade. A lot of people make margaritas and stuff with it, but there's several things you could do with it. But we're gonna try to make some lemonade. We've never done it. And this is the first year for my daughter to be out here in Texas. Well, first full summer where we noticed them. She's originally from Georgia area, but she's excited about that today after I work bees, and I'll probably update y'all. But that was something pretty cool to see, you know, out here in the desert. Our mesquite didn't have the 3rd boom like I anticipated, so we're gonna move them to cotton. And I wanted to show y'all, you know, I am bringing in genetics from other places just to get them inside of our genetics, since I do have some very aggressive colonies. I want to take a look at these. As I said, I have harvested from these earlier this year, but some of these may not have excuse me, smoking myself out here, but I did give them some that's ready. I gave them some boxes that weren't full or anything like that, and try to give them enough time to see if 10 days was enough for them to fill it out. And this may have been a box I brought up, or a frame. It still has a little bit of brood. I think I popped this above the excluder just a few weeks ago because I knew I was going to be harvesting soon. But let's see what the rest looks like. We can leave that 1 frame behind if we need to. The rest is all capped honey. But you can see these are the genetics from Korea farms that I've been getting. Compared to my West Texas bees, super calm. And this was a box that was a new one, and I only gave it to them with about a week left of the flow, and I wanted to see if they'd do anything. They did a little bit, filled about half of it, started capping, filled that side. Nothing's dripping out, so I'll still pull this, and I would just use a refractometer. If I need to dry it out, I'll dry it out. But normally I do use a fume board, but there's really not that many bees up in these supers, so I'm actually gonna come in here. Y'all probably can't see what I'm doing, but as I said, the Korea farms genetics have been very good. They got those 2 deeps. That one's full, that one's about halfway or a little more. But look at these genetics. I've been telling my buddy Rusty to get some of these queens because they're strong. I really don't treat besides my normal treatment. And look how calm they are. not mess with me, and they don't even look like West Texas bees because they're originally from, queens are from California. So that's what we're gonna do. I'm just gonna pop the brood nest open, take a peek, add that super on it, close it up, take those to harvest the honey, and go from there. So let me see if I can kind of angle y'all to where y'all can see. I don't know if that's too much of an angle there. Yep. Like I said, I don't edit my videos or anything like that. I don't have the time for that. But I just want to take a peek in the brood nest. Make sure they should have plenty of room because that second box was not full of nectar. So if they had any honey that came in, it would have gone up there, which that's empty. Plenty of room there. And I just love how calm these bees are. It reminds me of Georgia. A beautiful brood pattern for this time of year. Good honey band. Not too much though, since it's a single brood chamber. I don't want to have too much honey in here. But look at that beautiful brood. A few cups, but nothing crazy. But yeah, so this is, I really don't even need to go further on this. I'll put this back together, add the queen excluder back on, give them an empty super, get them ready to move to cotton fields tonight. That's all there is to it. And I just wanted to show y'all what I'm doing today. I'm only going through about 12 colonies, so. All right, so this small yard, I normally have 4 colonies here, but I've already moved a couple. These one had some honey left over, so I let them finish that and give them some empty boxes of drawn comb to see if they were gonna fill it up, since I thought there was a third mesquite bloom coming, and there wasn't. So hopefully I have at least 2 full boxes and maybe a partial. I'll be happy with that, but these bees here are a little bit, last time they were a little bit more ornery, but you see they're coming in and out pretty good. I'm gonna pop these tops. I've got the 2 supers here. I'm gonna rip the 3 on top off, give them a single deep each, so they're light and I'm able to move them to cotton field since I have to do it all by myself. Some people thought I was moving full double deeps, and no, I will not do that. I'll do a single deep with you know, an empty drawn comb super. That way I move them at night, leave them there until the next week. This one looks like I gave them some frames to work on and they didn't do so much on those. I think it's because I had 6 frames here that were already in there, but I'm gonna peek down to the bottom ones just to, they actually ain't acting bad right now. But excuse my camera skills, I'm trying to do it with one hand. I normally do a tripod, but I need to hurry. I don't really want to get everything out. Okay, you got kept honey in there for the most part. Some of them are open still, but like I said, if we need to dry it, we'll dry it. Pop these ones open to take a look at these girls. Like I said, I had given them extra room because I was expecting a third mesquite bloom, which they drew that out. They've kept all that. These 2 in the middle, working on that. Okay, that was just foundation on that, so I guess I tried to give them some empties to work on since I thought there was going to be a flow, which there wasn't. Which, well, actually, you see one right there that's about to bloom, a couple of them, but nothing significant. So better to rip them down, steal whatever honey I can, and move them to cotton. Broke these 2 that were 4 deeps down to singles. See how packed they are. Then we're gonna add a deep of drawn comb, move them to cotton fields tonight. Well, I wanted to show y'all that not everything goes as planned. You see I have a queen excluder. I had a 2 deeps above it. 1 deep is full of honey and heavy, I thought. But I'm going through frame by frame to sweep off any bees so they don't go in my garage. But the second box was just empty. Drawn comb that they had. Well, I shook them all to the ground and there was a ton of bees. And I was like, golly, there shouldn't be that many bees in an empty deep. Well, just want to show you not everything goes as planned, as I said. Somehow, either there's a second queen or the queen got through the excluder, which is very rare, but you see on this side, nothing but beautiful capped honey. But over here, you've got brood with eggs. Then, same thing with all the frames. They've got larvae, everything like that. So what I do with this one, I'm gonna shake all the bees down. I'm gonna look at that other box to see if there's any eggs or anything as well. I don't know if the queen, well, I'm sure she was up here. I'd have to go through this box to see if she's up here where she was laying, or if she was in this big cluster that I shook to the ground and now they're all working their way back in. She either makes it in or she don't. I mean, I don't have time to really dig and look. At this point, it is what it is. So instead of harvesting that, since there's brood and eggs and everything, I will shake everything down and make sure the queen or whatever else, all the bees are out of here. Put the excluder underneath. Remind myself in 3 weeks that this is not cotton honey, that batch is a batch of mesquite. So I have to separate that. So I'm gonna go down this brood nest and see if there's eggs and stuff down there. And you can see she's even marked, kind of faded out, but there's a white dot on her right there. So I must have put her, I never shook her down below the excluder. I guess I somehow missed her. But most of this was just full of honey. There was 3 or 4 frames that had brood on it. And you can see the single brood chamber is just packed. I'm gonna shake her down. I'm taking all the ones that were just full honey, these 4 here that have a little bit of brood, which isn't much. You see there's honey, most of it, but a little bit of brood. I'll add undrawn comb on the outsides. That way it's lighter for me when I do move them tonight. And I'll just make note, I'll mark those frames that those are mesquite.